Hello everyone. I'm actually thinking if I could actually do a dance for you all and just dance for you. Which one? Anyways, I'm happy we are actually approaching the end of this course. We're in the 12th chapter and I'm so excited. Before I tell you what the topic is, probably you might have seen it down here in the arrows that actually tell you what chapters we're doing. I want to quickly tell you these thoughts that I forgot to tell you in the last chapter. During the time of Noah, when God had to destroy the whole world to start it afresh because of the pollution that the devil and his colleagues actually brought into the world by actually going to sleep with the females and giving birth to humans that does not meet the same, that are not the same with the original humans he has created, which is just chaotic, a blunder, like a big blunder, a big disaster. God had to just wipe everything away, right? So even at that, God could have decided to say, let us make a decision. Angels, Jesus, my son, let us make a decision with these human beings on earth, because should we just wipe off this whole earth that we just created, wipe off everything and start afresh with a new template, and probably just destroy the devil along the way too and just start with a new template? He would have done that. That was also an option. He is God. He can do whatever. But because he has created the trees, it's easy for him to throw away and make new ones, maybe in a new form that we don't know of now, other things. But he has made humans that he gave his breath to bring them into life. It's going to be, I know God is loving. Love is an emotion, and it's also a form of feeling. So God would probably be emotional because of the love he has to actually do away with something he created and so much took time to make, and he loves this creation, which is us humans. It will really be emotionally tormenting to actually throw this away, because he sees himself as a father, so he just doesn't want to throw everything away and just start afresh in a new template. So this is why God is so loving, and it's called his love himself, because he made love. He has that love inside of him. So we should be so happy that we have a father like him. So yeah. All right, let's start our new topic. So today we're going to be looking at, as we quickly go to the end of this topic, we have one more topic after this one. Here we're going to be looking at Jesus said he has made everything new. Jesus said he has made everything new. Okay, so that's the topic for today. Like I always say, I have my notes over here. I just glanced over there. If you see me, I'm actually trying to make sure I'm on point and I have everything covered. Over here, I have my timing just to make sure I'm always on time. So the reason why Jesus said he makes all things new, what does that even mean? It means that the original plan of the Father was changed, literally. That's why God had to bring all of this bring Jesus into the picture to help amend everything and bring everything back to normality, right? To the way he has made it. The devil is not a good person. The devil is not a good person. You get, God being love, he tries to rebel, even though God actually gave him high esteem in heaven, gave him a very high esteem, but still the devil wanted more and wanted to attack the very most loving person that actually is. I wanted to say that will ever be, but God is always alive. There's no end or there's no beginning to him. So the devil actually tried to attack the person that the spirit that is the most loving, So let me just quickly put this off on silent so it doesn't disturb me. All right. So yeah. So Jesus Christ came to make everything new. He has actually made everything new. Now, when I say that, you may look around you and be like, well, there's still chaos on here. There's still COVID-19, and there's still stealing, killing, people crying, people in poverty, people being raped, and people being, destroyed, and all of that. That I don't see anything new. But yes, he has actually made everything new. This is why, and this is how. So when he came and defeated the devil, and made his own, the people that follow him, to have that power and authority over the devil, right? And even we as Christians were not limited or short-cutted in, or like being deprived of anything. We are not. We actually have everything. Just that most Christians don't know what they have, so they cannot exercise the authority to take what they have. They don't really know. That's why if this world is given a little bit more time, even though Jesus Christ is coming, hopefully God can open the eyes of a lot of Christians to not just know what they have, the riches they have, but also to use it in the right way, because they can start using it, and you will not find any difference between the people of the world and the Christians anymore if they use it the wrong way, right? Like if they're giving authority, or they're giving wealth, or they're giving resources, which is already available to us. But if a Christian cannot manage it and have that humble spirit, and have that spirit, allow the Holy Spirit to rule, you're probably looking for the difference between them and the people of the world that have the same power and authority or wealth. So that is just, So, but Jesus Christ has already made everything. He has already made everything new. He came and conquered the devil, gave us the victory. When he conquered the devil, death does not have any power over us again. Why do I say that? Humans were supposed to die. When they die, that's it. They were initially, God planned that everybody would live forever, irrespective of what. But when the devil came, that devil, that mean person, not a person. Why do I keep giving the spirits, making them humans in my own words? But no, they are not. The devil himself, that spirit, came and introduced death. The devil is the one that brought brought humans to the place where they can actually die. The devil is not friendly. He brought the humans, took them out of their comfort of actually living forever, and deceived them and brought them to the point whereby they had to go back to death. Because God cannot break his word. He has already said if they eat of the fruit, they will die. So now he brought them to that point whereby they ate the fruit, and now deceived them and told them that indeed will you die? God told you that you will die. And you think indeed you will die? He was telling Eve. And then Eve ate and went to give her husband. So the devil actually brought humans to that point of actually dying. But now Jesus Christ made a bridge whereby we don't have to, if one dies, they still live. And when they still live, when I say that, I mean in another terms, because human beings, we are spirits living in bodies. This is a little bit complex. I hope you can understand. We are spirits living in a body, right? So the thing that was done initially, original plan of God was that as he made us from the dust, he breathed the spirit into us that gave life. So the breath of God that went into the dust, that breath was the spirit of man, right? And that dust is our body. So what God originally planned was that dust, which is our body, combined with the spirit, will live forever. No destruction needed. But when the devil came, he now caused humans whereby that original design of the dust plus the spirit should live forever was broken, whereby the dust has to go back to the dust. But the spirit of man, which was the breath that God gave, can still live forever, right? In the sense that if someone dies right now as a sinful person without Christ, he will go to hell. His own spirit, which is the breath of God, that spirit will go to hell and perish there. But his dust, his body, which is the dust, will perish. So that is what Jesus Christ came to change, right? Because the original plan was that dust plus the spirit will keep living. But now what the devil did and caused man to die, the meaning of leaving the earth means death. It does not really mean death per se. What it means is that this is the original earth we were given birth to live. The original plan was that God in heaven will visit us from heaven and come down to visit us on this earth. But now, humans will now die by leaving their dust, which is their body, leaving the dust, and their spirit leaving the earth. The dust goes back to the dust, and the spirit leaves the earth and goes to either heaven or hell, and they don't exist anymore. You get? But God's plan initially, again, was that humans would maintain their dust, the body they have, and the spirit they have, and they will keep living, not die, and keep living in the earth. But now they will die and leave the earth. The dust go back, and the spirit either goes to somewhere. Initially, from the beginning, the human being spirit did not need to go to heaven. The human spirit did not need to go to hell. There was none of that. God will himself come and visit. But now, because the humans are going to have to leave the earth in form of death, they are either going to go to heaven or now either going to go to hell with their dust perishing. So that's the disruption that devil actually brought to the earth. The devil brought that into the earth. He's the one that caused that chaotic disruption, and he's still deceiving people. Apart from causing that, because he knows he can do some massive havoc like that, he keeps trying to deceive humans so that when God punished him and put him in hellfire, in hell, he wants as many as possible. In fact, he does not even want God to have anyone. He wants God to pay, whereby God will not have anybody saved and go to him, whereby the work of Jesus will not have any effect. You get? That's what he's trying to do. Not just that he will pull people to hell, but he will give them whatever they need on earth right now, just to make them not even have a chance to heaven. So he's giving you everything on earth right now, but he's taking everything away from you. Because in the beginning, God did not deprive you of all of these things that humans try to seek for when they seek the devil, like wealth, riches, fame, and a good wife or a beautiful home, cars, whatever, influence. God did not deprive humans. He gives this to them when they are ready and matured, and when they can use it for good and not for their own selfish or for destructive or negative means. He gives this to them, right? He gives it to you when you're ready, and he gives it to you. He does not hold back. He trains you, he literally trains you so that he can give it to you. He grows you so that he can give it to you, because when you are grown, you can handle it. When you are grown to like 18 and 19, then you can drive. Then you are given a license. You go to a test, you can't be given a car at 5 years old. So he trains you before he gives you the blessing, unless you will just crash the car or show off and make other people, look little or look insignificant. There's a whole lot of things that go into that. But the devil trades you with these big things, whether you are ready or not, whether you are 5 years old or not, just making you be tempted by this thing so that he can have your soul and pull it with him to hell at the end of the day. So Jesus Christ came to make everything new, whereby as he has died and released us from sin, that sin is as a result of eating that fruit, and then more sin was introduced into the world, whereby the world was now turned into a sinful place. Because when Eve ate that fruit, her eyes was open. They didn't even know they were naked, but when their eyes were open, they now had a little bit more knowledge than what they usually have. That fruit is like the knowledge of good and bad. They now knew what good and bad is. Initially, they were living initially when the devil did not come to them initially, they were living in a default state of just being good. They were just being good. They did not need to know. You don't need to know evil when you're already good. But when they ate the fruit, they now added another knowledge to themselves, which was good and bad, the bad one. They now could they can now differentiate between bad and good. When they could have just easily lived their life living in the real and original format of good beings as made originally by God. Because when God breathed his life, the breath into them, he does not have anything evil from himself to transfer to humans. He only gave them good. They would have lived in that good state, but when they ate that fruit, they now have this knowledge to know bad and to differentiate between bad and good. So they can now make a choice of either to do good or to do bad. That's when men started making wrong choices. And imagine it, the devil is already here because he was cast down from heaven, thrown away from heaven. He's already here, and now he can even make humans do the more worse things than they don't even know initially. Who is the person that started teaching man evil things? Because Adam and Eve and his children did not have any person before them to learn evil things from. It was the devil who would tell you, who was there to tell them, try this thing, try this. What? So the devil is just the worst spirit ever. And it's just a pain, and it's just sorrowful and painful and like pitiful to find humans partner with him. Whether by ignorance, by you doing things that you don't care or you don't even want to find out the truth, just you want to do what you want to do. And by doing that, you end up partnering with the devil, or actually knowing that you are doing something evil. Because there's a whole lot of people now in the world that call themselves beasts, or call themselves whatever name that is not right, and even say that they don't want to go to heaven, proclaiming and with also other people that say that there's no God and all of that. You closing your knowledge or your mind or your ears to find out whether there is God or not, because you don't have that clear knowledge whether there is God or not, does not mean that there's no God. And it does not mean that whatever he has said would not happen to you. Just like many people say, because you decide not to find out whether indeed there's gravity, does not mean that gravity does not exist. And when you jump off the building, you will fall down, you won't float because of gravity. It will still take effect on you, whether you care to know about it now or not. The same way, whether you care to know about what is good or bad, or how to find the right way, or find God and still have all the good things you want to have in life, because you will still have those good things. It will not be deprived from you. Whether you decide to do that now or not, does not mean that the truth is not out there and that the truth will not affect you. It will affect you. Christ made everything new. For you to find out, we already know what the past is. The past from the beginning of time, Abraham, Moses, Isaac, and all those people from the past. We are living in this current present. To know the future of things that are yet to come in the future, we have to look in the Bible, the book called Revelation. Go to the Bible, open the book called Revelation. That is where you will find the things that are yet to come. That is where you will find the things that are yet to come in this world, are yet to happen from God, who is the one who is making all of these things happen from the beginning to now and to the future. God has made that future known and available to man for them to understand what's going to happen. So you won't say that you were not given a chance to know what's happening. That's why you fell victim of hell, or that God is wicked. He's the one that put you in hell. Why didn't he let you know? Even a non-Christian can pick up the Bible and read Revelations to find out what's to come. And also read the books before Revelation to find out what was already, or what God, Jesus Christ, did. So Revelations is the last book of the Bible. If you go there, it's a very scary book because it shows the scary things that are yet to happen. So when you go there, you find this book, you really know what's happening and how people will be taken to heaven and what will happen after people are taken to heaven. It's a very important book to read. So Jesus Christ is the one that made everything new. He's the one that brings and makes everything new. So the spirit of a human being cannot die. It will keep living. But what is called death is leaving this earth. Because once somebody dies, even if his spirit is still living, people will cry and say he's dead. But his dust is gone, but he still lives, because that spirit that he has, which is the real him, that spirit, which is the breath that God gave to make human beings have life, that spirit will keep living. Because the devil is already on this earth when humans started dying. And he has already been given a judgment that he will go to hell after a certain time. So hell is already available from a long time. So if Jesus Christ did not come, human beings will have only one option, which is to go to hell, because they are already living a worldly life and a sinful life. Jesus Christ was not here to save them. They will all go to hell if they did not keep up with the commandments of God that God gave to Moses. They will all go to hell. But Jesus Christ came so that human beings will have another option, which is to go to heaven. So once they are in heaven, there will be a new earth and a new heaven, whereby they will not die anymore. And Jesus Christ will make everything, and has already made everything new by that means.